There's a lot of footsteps, and a twig just snapped down there. We've not heard anything like that all night. It's been very nice, very quiet.
Are you out there somewhere? Hey!
6 lone nights, 6 spine-chilling encounters, haunted woods, a bridge of sorrow, shadowed bothies, and things that watch. 6 creepiest camping encounters that will haunt you. Dare to stay until dawn?
God, I'm still hearing weird noises.
Venturing into the woods alone can be terrifying, but what happens when you encounter something you wish you'd never seen? Like this first encounter, for example. Posted by Travis Jake. On August 12, 2024, Travis Jake, creator of the Hoggett Project, a channel known for eerie explorations of haunted places, decided to take on another adventure. This time, his destination was one of America's most haunted forests, deep in Washington state. No crew, no backup, just him, his camera, and a single tent pitched in the middle of nowhere. The afternoon was quiet. The trees whispered softly in the wind.
Back out here in the mountains, and I'm thinking of going up to the top there, having a look. If that doesn't work, back in here looks like it's flattening out. Made it to the top. It's a nice creek that comes through here, and you can have a look-see all the way down the pipeline.
By nightfall, the forest grew still, a silence so complete it almost pressed against his skin. Travis set up camp by a small creek, believing he'd chosen a peaceful spot to spend the night.
It would appear that the very first spot we found, ironically, turns out to be the best one. You can see how soft the ground is, just how other animals come through here. So it just came through, scooped on out, and kept on trucking.
Then came the first sound. A heavy knock echoed through the darkness, sharp and deliberate, as if something had struck a tree. Travis froze. He knew no one else was out there. There were no hiking trails for miles. He waited, listening, but the sound didn't return. Convincing himself it was just the forest settling, he tried to relax. Minutes later, another sound, 2 sharp snaps by the creek, this time closer. Branches breaking under weight. The beam of his flashlight sliced through the blackness, sweeping across the trees. Every shadow looked alive. He whispered to his camera that he might be hearing animals, maybe a deer, maybe a raccoon. But his voice betrayed what he was feeling. Fear.
Let's a little bit of light into these woods. That way, cannot see a thing. And I don't think I was recording earlier, but something made a heavy sound over there. Could have just been some old rotted logs settling. I don't know if that was me or something over there. Definitely something over there.
He kept the light moving for several tense seconds, seeing nothing but fog and trunks. Finally, thinking it was nothing, he lowered the light and took a breath. That's when he saw it. At first, it looked small, a dark shape crouched near the ground, but when he shifted the beam to low intensity, the figure rose, tall, massive, standing completely still at the edge of the clearing. For a moment, Travis couldn't breathe. The light caught what looked like shoulders, impossibly wide, and the faint glint of eyes reflecting back at him. The figure didn't move, didn't speak. It only watched. The words barely left his mouth before the shape turned. One smooth motion, and melted into the darkness between the trees. Silence returned, heavier than before. No footsteps, no rustle, only the faint gurgle of the creek.
Documenting my experience and why I'm leaving is basically, it was all set up, it was getting dark, I had just gathered all the firewood. I had run back to the vehicle to grab my Carhartt jacket. Right about that time, as I sit down, I hear some noise, and I thought that my keys have hit the chair a certain way. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm about to go about my business, then I hear behind me where the creek is, about only 50 feet, I hear a couple more loud crunches. And that's when I stand up and I just shine the forest. Of course the noise has stopped, and I'm guessing whoever it was, it found a good spot to lay low. I didn't see any eyes glowing back, didn't see any movement, other than I did see a bat. But definitely that is not what made the loud noises. In all this, I probably shined the light on the forest for a good 3 to 4 solid minutes.
Travis didn't stay to find out what it was. He packed his camera, grabbed his bag, and left the woods before dawn. When he returned with rangers the next morning, his campsite was untouched, except for a single tree beside the creek. Across its bark were deep, uneven scratches, 7 feet off the ground. No one ever explained what made those marks. But for Travis Jake, that night changed so many things. He still explores haunted places, just not with the same ease as before.
Whatever this was, decided it was just going to freeze, and then maybe I wouldn't think it was anything. But as I'm looking in that direction, I'm not even kidding, it looks like somebody dressed up in camo. And they've got their back slightly angled away, I'd say like at a 45 degree. They're standing there about 6 feet tall, looking like a human that I just caught that was probably sneaking up on me. That's all I can think. When I saw what it was, a human.
And the same can be said about the person in this next encounter. A man discovered a mysterious bridge, one surrounded by stories so strange they've puzzled locals for decades. For some reason, hundreds of dogs have jumped from this bridge, and no one truly knows why. It's a chilling mystery, especially since there are many other bridges nearby, yet only this one, Overtoun Bridge, has claimed so many lives. People have come up with all kinds of explanations, from strange sounds that only animals can hear to darker stories about a spirit that might haunt the area. Some even believe it began in 1994, when a man tragically threw his own baby from the bridge, claiming it was possessed by evil. They say that act awakened something sinister that still lingers to this day.
See this bridge behind me? For some reason, hundreds of dogs keep jumping off it, and nobody knows why. This is really weird considering how many similar bridges are around the area, so why are so many dogs jumping off this one? There are some insane theories, from weird sounds that the dogs hear below the bridge, all the way to a baby being thrown off the bridge in 1994, causing some evil spirit to live there now. So is this all true?
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this and figure out why dogs keep jumping off this bridge.
The footage comes from Groovy Gavin, a well-known YouTuber famous for legitimate paranormal investigations. He and his friend traveled to Overtoun Bridge to uncover the truth.
It's a village of dogs, bro.
Why are they bringing dogs to the dogs bridge?
This is the bridge. These railings are so much taller than I thought they were gonna be. Oh my gosh, that's so sad, bro. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they're cooked.
That's pretty brutal.
That's a big jump.
Dude, I wonder if I'll jump off, because I got that dog in me. I got that dog in me, but it's just a chihuahua.
They started by talking to locals, many of whom had their own unsettling experiences.
Got a quick question for you guys. I'm making a video documentary about this bridge. We heard a lot of dogs have jumped off it.
Well, I have a friend who has dogs, and what she thought was that people would stop to look over, and dogs, being very nosy, would want to see what was below and would run and jump. And of course, they couldn't then stop, so they kept going.
Okay,
but that kind of makes sense. Her theory.
That makes sense. Does that happen often?
So it's a long time ago.
It doesn't happen recently much?
No, recently.
Did they like make changes to the bridge or something, or just stopped happening?
I think it's maybe been a mink or some spraying on it. The dogs have jumped over.
Interesting. So you're not worried about that at all or anything?
No.
You can ask me because I've only lived here since 2001, and I've seen every dog that's jumped. They don't know there's not anything on the other side of that wall. So these jump up, then they tumble over.
Do you like know why or have?
I'm very confident it's because we have a family of mink that periodically run under the bridge.
Oh wow!
And so there's that odor, that musk from them. There's all kinds of bridges. This is the only one they jump.
That's what we were talking about. I'm sure this is not the only bridge like that.
It's the only one that we know that they jump off of.
It's the smell. I don't know if it's the tree canopy or something.
Yeah, someone was saying minks down there.
Yeah, that's what
That's what you guys think.
Then there's the mink theory. Beneath the bridge, there's a strong musky odor, like damp soil and decay. Minks, known for their pungent scent, are common in the area. To a dog, that smell could trigger hunting instincts, leading them to leap toward it without hesitation. When Gavin and his crew investigated, they described an overpowering stench under the bridge. If the smell was that strong to humans, imagine what it must be like for a dog's nose.
I do have to say, it smells so bad right here.
So there's that odor, that musk.
Either really, really bad trash or like something's dead. Like, especially right here, somewhere like over on this side. Dude, I feel like they would definitely like live right here.
Yeah, I smell something, bro.
Yeah, I actually smell that too. It is coming from here, bro. It's probably, they probably took the dog in there, dude. Yeah. I think this is where the minks would be, bro. We gotta get in here.
Oh, they did say they were musty.
We gotta get in here. I'm gonna look up what minks eat real quick. Fish, birds, bird eggs, insects, crabs, clams, and small mammals. So that would make sense why they're over here. So far, that theory lining up quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know how we would really lure them out.
Minky, Minky.
I see them all scurry out. Wait, hold on. We gotta listen for the mink sound.
Oh, that could sound like a bird.
Wait, maybe they'll come.
But perhaps the most unnerving idea is the frequency theory, the belief that high-pitched sounds, inaudible to humans, may be agitating dogs near the bridge. To test it, Gavin played a series of tones increasing in frequency. The reaction was immediate. Nearby dogs began barking, whining, pacing nervously. Something was definitely affecting them, something the human ear couldn't detect.
Still can hear it. Okay, 12,000. Can you hear it, still?
I can't hear it.
You can't?
No.
Oh, it just went away. So I have a hearing age of 31. That's terrible. You have one of like 40, bro. But I got an app you can test frequencies with. It's called Spectrum View. Wait, it's saying the spectrum is really high over here. Like, I guess it would be over here.
It looks like it's cooking.
It would have to go up to over 10,000. It does look like it keeps spiking up to like 1,000, but that's not nearly enough. Okay, I guess we should probably go down. I'm not picking up any high frequencies now. It would have to go literally over like 15,000.
I think if there was one, we would hear it.
No, we wouldn't hear it. That's a whole.
Sorry, we wouldn't hear it. This would pick it up by now.
Probably. Yeah, this theory, honestly, this is the worst theory in my opinion.
Still, the locals talk about something else. They say a ghostly figure, the White Lady of Overtoun, haunts the bridge. She's said to be the grieving widow of John White, who lived in the nearby manor and remained there alone for decades after his death. Witnesses claim to see her in the windows of the estate or drifting along the bridge itself. Paranormal researcher Paul Owens spent more than 11 years studying the phenomenon and believes a spirit truly is behind it. During Gavin's own investigation, every piece of electronic equipment suddenly failed, batteries drained, cameras shut off, and static filled the air. When they switched to a spirit box, faint whispers came through, words too distorted to understand.
Alright guys, it's time to test the final theory, which is spirits on the bridge. So I went over the guy that threw his baby off, he yeeted him off. But it goes more than that, because there's also believed to be a lady in white. She's said to be the grieving widow of John White, who lived in this manor alone for more than 30 years after his death in 1908. People have reported seeing her in windows and just seeing her around this area. What? Oh, that's just a weird shape. Dude, look over here. Come over here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. See in the far right window? I thought that was a head.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Holy sh! Paul Owens, a researcher, spent 11 years studying the bridge and is convinced a ghost is behind the incidents. We're gonna start up here on top of the bridge and then go below it, where I guess all the dogs have fallen, which is way creepier. Before I even ask questions, I kind of want to like walk around with it, because you know, maybe it goes off like near where something jumped or something.
Is anyone here tonight? Kind of heard yes. It's really quiet right now. Is it true that a baby was thrown off this bridge? This is Mrs. Pickles. And you know, cute? He said cute.
Oh, yeah, he
In the end, they couldn't find a single explanation that solved the mystery. Not the bridge's design, not the minks, not the frequencies. To this day, dogs still jump. Whatever's calling them, whether it's instinct, illusion, or something beyond understanding, remains unknown. And Overtown Bridge continues to live up to its name, the Bridge of Sorrow. Imagine a woman so fearless she can travel alone, explore alone, and even camp alone in the most unsettling of places. This is Ruth Arsling, creator and owner of the YouTube channel Ruth Arsling. Through her videos, she takes her audience on raw and immersive adventures into some of the most remote parts of the world. But on this particular night in Scotland, Ruth would capture something far from ordinary. She had planned to spend the night inside a small, isolated bothy, one of the many scattered across the Scottish Highlands. A bothy is a basic stone shelter, often left open for travelers and hikers to rest. Most of the time, they are quiet and safe. But this one felt different from the start.
Some of you might be wondering, what is a bothy? Well, a bothy is a basic shelter or refuge, and some can be found in remote rural areas of Scotland. They are unlocked and free to stay at. Bothies vary in size and construction, but are often small, simple buildings made of stone or wood, with minimal amenities. Traditionally, bothies were used by farm workers, shepherds, and travellers as temporary shelter from the harsh Scottish weather. Today, bothies are popular destinations for hikers and outdoor enthusiasts.
As she arrived, Ruth noted that the place was completely empty, yet there were signs that someone had been there before her. A single light bulb hung from the ceiling. On a small table sat a candle, a bottle of ketchup, and a few other personal items. The kind you'd expect to see in someone's home, not an abandoned mountain shelter. She unpacked her gear, trying to brush off the uneasy feeling that someone might still be nearby.
Now I'm going to set up my mattress and my sleeping bag. It's suddenly getting quite dark, and just being honest, I'm feeling a little bit scared. I don't know why. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine.
When night fell, the silence grew heavier. The wind outside whistled through the cracks in the walls, and every sound seemed amplified. To distract herself, Ruth decided to cook dinner. The sizzle of food and the warmth from the stove helped calm her nerves.
I think the reason I was quite nervous is just because it's a new place. Does anyone else ever feel like that when they go to a new place? They feel a little bit anxious at first, but sort of settling in, and then it's feeling a bit more familiar now, which is good.
But just as she began to eat, she heard it. A faint sound from outside. A soft thump, followed by what sounded like footsteps crunching on gravel. Ruth paused, listening. Nothing. The noise stopped as quickly as it began. She convinced herself it was just the wind and returned to her meal, then picked up a book to read by candlelight. Hours passed. She blew out the flame and went to bed, wrapping herself tightly in her sleeping bag. Sometime in the night, she woke to the same sound again, only closer. Slow, deliberate steps outside the bothy. The noises continued on and off until morning. When daylight finally broke, Ruth gathered her things. Even in the daylight, she could still hear faint movement outside. She didn't wait to find out who or what it was.
Last night I was a bit scared. There were some strange noises. I think it might have been a mouse or something, but it was a little bit weird. And I had some earplugs with me, so I put them in to block out the strange noises. God, I'm still hearing weird noises.
She left the bothy behind, her camera still rolling, leaving viewers to wonder what really kept her company that night in the Scottish wilderness. As we know, venturing into the woods alone can be terrifying, but choosing to explore a place known as one of the most haunted ruins in Appalachia, That takes a different kind of courage. On October 11th, 2025, the creator of Appalachia set out deep into the woods of North Georgia to investigate the ruins of Corpsewood Manor, a site drenched in legends of satanic rituals, tragedy, and restless spirits. Armed with nothing but a flashlight, a night vision camera, and his courage, he hiked into the darkness. The trail was narrow, tangled with vines, and alive with strange noises. Frogs croaked, armadillos scurried through the leaves, and giant Joro spiders hung in golden webs like sentinels. The deeper he went, the heavier the air became, thick with the feeling that he wasn't welcome. When he finally reached the ruins, the woods fell silent.
I'm just gonna circle. Oh my god, there it is. Are you out there somewhere? Hey!
Do I remind you of the people? To explore one of the most haunted locations east of the Mississippi. I'll be heading out in the dead of night with my GoPro, lights, and an IR night vision camera to see if I can entice any spirits to communicate with me, as well as tell y'all the true story of this place. Let's get to it.
The remains of the manor stood half swallowed by nature, stone walls draped in moss, metal roofing collapsed by storms. This was once the home of Dr. Charles Scudder and Joseph Odom, a couple whose eccentric lifestyle and occult symbols had drawn the wrath of locals decades ago. Their lives had ended violently here, and many say their spirits still guard the grounds.
You know, in the comments, if you're willing to lend me some stuff, I could really use it. Yeah, let's go see what we can find.
Keep fearing that some type of pale, hairless humanoid is gonna pop up and start trying to eat me out here. I was gonna make a campfire, but everything around here is wet. I don't know if I'd be able to. And it is so overgrown, I'm kind of afraid of starting another forest fire, and that is definitely not what I want to do. I want to preserve this manor as much as possible, so no campfire tonight. Sorry, y'all.
Okay, I'm kind of new at this whole paranormal investigation type thing, so bear with me. But I'm going to turn off the lights and just use the night vision camera, and I'm going to call out to Scudder and Odor, and I'm going to see if I can get a reaction or any type of response from them, if they still linger here. Or maybe there is a spirit or entity much darker and more evil than them here, considering they might have been Satanists. I really hope I don't bring anything back home with me.
The wind shifted. A chill brushed his neck. Somewhere in the darkness, branches rattled like bones. Was it the forest? Or something older? Listening. He kept speaking, offering respect to the dead, asking for a sign. For a moment, the air grew still. Then a cold draft swept through the ruins, sharp and sudden. "Was that you?" he whispered. No response, only the whispering woods. Hours passed with no clear proof, only the haunting awareness of unseen eyes watching from the shadows. Finally, exhausted, he began his trek back, only to lose the trail. Lost among the overgrown paths, every sound became a threat.
If you're here right now, I don't have much means to communicate with you. But if you're willing, I am willing to communicate myself. What happened to you was a tragedy. And if you're here with us today, give me some type of sign. Maybe maybe yins are just camera shy, huh? I don't blame you. I was camera shy too when I started this YouTube. Cameras ain't nothing to shy away from, y'all. Come on. Talk to me. Let me know you still rule and own these hills. Do they still belong to you? Or have the critters and the trees and the vines and the bugs taken back over?
And then, somewhere behind him, a scream tore through the night. He never saw what made it, but as he reached the car, pale and shaking, he swore one thing. Something still walks among the ruins of Corpsewood Manor. As we go further into these chilling tales, the atmosphere only grows darker. It's not easy to visit haunted places, especially when the stories that surround them whisper of the supernatural. But tonight, the team from the Flex Tapes, known for their eerie explorations and wild camping adventures, decided to face one of England's strangest mysteries. Their destination, Hangman's Hill, a place where gravity itself seems to bend, and legends claim that unseen hands can move your car uphill. It was a cold night in Epping Forest, under a bright full moon, the kind that casts silver light across the trees, making every shadow seem alive. The team began their recording with confidence, explaining the old legend. Whenever you park your car on this hill and leave it in neutral, it rolls up the slope. A trick of the land, perhaps, or something far less natural.
This time we're back, and we are in a different area this time. We're in a place called Hangman's Hill, and the old legend is that whenever a car is on the hill and you leave it in neutral, the car will roll up the hill. Crazy, but it works. But anyway, we're here. The tent is in the background, as you can probably see. Now, we had to buy another tent. We ended up going and getting a big, massive 6-man tent. It's huge, absolutely insane. It's a full moon. It's a beaver moon tonight.
You're jumping in, you're going to put it in neutral. Put it in neutral now. That's neutral.
Right, we're in neutral.
Right, ready?
I'm ready.
Foot off the brake.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Let's watch him go up the hill.
Foot off.
Look at that, he's rolling up the hill.
Oh wow, this is dangerous. This is scary.
They decided to test it. The car was placed in neutral. The headlights dimly lit the winding road. Then, slowly, the vehicle began to roll upward. The team watched in stunned silence as the car picked up speed, climbing the incline against logic itself. "Look at that," one of them whispered. "It's moving. It's really moving." Their voices carried a nervous laugh, but beneath it, you could hear something else. Unease.
Yep, yeah, we're moving now. Yeah, it's going very fast. It's going very fast. It's going very fast. Ah!
Right,
Still in neutral.
can't be bothered riding the car up.
After the demonstration, they parked near an old church and ventured deeper into the forest to set up camp. A massive 6-man tent, a small fire, the smell of steak sizzling over open flames. For a while, everything felt calm, almost peaceful. The forest around them glowed faintly in the moonlight, the sounds of nature filling the air.
So this is inside the tent, and I wasn't exaggerating when I said this thing is massive. It's a big 6-man tent, and you probably get like 12 people sat in it upright, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. When he said 6-man, I didn't think they meant times. I was thinking like, 6 very small men.
Yeah.
Not 7-foot men. This thing is massive.
You can nearly stand up in this thing. I mean, not quite if you're tall, but if you're on the short side, you can stand up in it.
I think for stealthing, it's...
But then, it began. A noise, sharp, sudden, echoed from the darkness. They froze. It wasn't the wind, and it wasn't a fox, though one of them tried to convince himself it was. The sound came again, closer this time. A crunch of leaves, a faint crack of twigs. The team fell silent. The camera caught the dim glow of the fire as they listened, eyes darting into the blackness beyond the trees. Something, or someone, was moving out there. They debated whether to step outside or stay hidden inside the tent. Their voices trembled, the tension thick in the air. Finally, they decided to stay put, hoping whatever it was would pass.
What was that? I've been for a bit, but I haven't heard anything like that all night. Just in case you didn't hear anything, there's a lot of footsteps and a twig just snapped down there. We've not heard anything like that all night. It's been very nice, very quiet. Lights out, I think. Right, so I finally got my wish. The one time we've been camping in like the past 12 months, it's never rained. It's raining now, and we're in a good tent.
But the forest didn't sleep that night. The noises came and went, sometimes near, sometimes distant, until the early hours of dawn. When morning light finally broke through the mist, they stepped out pale and shaken, but safe. The forest was silent again, no footprints, no sign of what had stalked their campsite. As they packed their gear, one of them whispered, "We came for a legend, but something else came for us." And at Hangman's Hill, where cars roll uphill and shadows seem to follow, the line between science and the supernatural remains as blurred as the night itself. The last video comes from a man named Chris, the creator behind the channel generic Chris. He isn't a professional outdoorsman, not even a seasoned camper. He's just an ordinary guy, curious, brave, and maybe a little too confident for his first solo night in the woods. But sometimes, curiosity can lead you straight into fear. Chris had chosen a remote forest somewhere in Germany, a quiet, empty stretch of woodland miles away from the nearest town. As he arrived, the forest greeted him with stillness. No birdsong, no rustle of life, just the faint whisper of wind weaving through the trees. It was beautiful, but it was the kind of beauty that hides something darker underneath.
Smelled someone, and it didn't smell like me. Fucking weird. You can barely see shit. Let's go. Man, shit. I don't know if I have enough space. And I don't know if I have enough time to set up a completely new camp. But we're going to see. And they told me to turn back where I was and take this road here to go in this direction.
He set up his shelter and took a moment to rest. The daylight faded through the canopy, turning gold to grey, and with it came a strange sinking feeling, an uneasiness he couldn't explain. He admitted on camera that the woods felt different, heavier than he expected. He tried to laugh it off, but even he couldn't hide the tension in his voice.
And there's just so many weird noises. Yeah, let's see if I really sleep here the whole night. It's going to be f***ing creepy, man. Yeah, it's very creepy, I'll say that. It's creepy here. Yeah, I don't know if you have noticed, but I'm not an outdoors guy, so this is all pretty new to me. Never done this before. Mosquitoes are coming out, but yeah, I got the mosquito net, I guess, for that. Gonna use it if I have to. I'd rather sleep without the net, honestly, because this forest fucking creeps me out.
By nightfall, the forest had transformed. Every sound became sharper. Every shadow looked alive. Chris was already getting the creeps when a sudden strange smell drifted through the air, something musky, human, almost like body odor. He froze, realizing it wasn't his own. The realization sent a chill down his spine. Someone, or something, had been nearby, maybe even watching. He scanned the tree line with his flashlight. Nothing, just the empty dark staring back at him. He tried to shake off the fear, telling himself it was just the wild animals, or his imagination playing tricks. He returned to his small fire and cooked a simple meal, instant mashed potatoes with minced meat. The comfort of food helped for a moment, but that feeling of being watched never really left.
So, I am on a quick mission to find my car, because I do need to get this sleeping bag. Well, that's all f***ing cold if I don't, but I need to hurry, because the sun is already gone, so we'll get good dark really quick. Bro, I would have never found this in the dark, and I wanted to cook. But creepy thing, I just smelled someone. That sounds weird. But you know how some people, it's not like bad smell, like just body odor, or like their smell. That didn't smell like me. Oh.
When he finally lay down to sleep, the forest seemed to breathe around him, quiet yet alive with unseen movement. He barely rested, waking up again and again to faint noises outside his shelter. Before dawn, he made a decision. He packed his things and left. The woods were still dark, the cold mist clinging to the ground as he walked away. Whatever was out there, Chris didn't stay long enough to find out. And sometimes, that's the only reason people live to tell the story. If these stories taught us anything, it's that the dark is never truly empty. Stay curious, but remember, some places are better left unexplored.